And I remembered when I was younger, prayer had always worked for me. I used to have a lot of earaches, and I remember opening my Bible, my little children's Bible, up to the page where Jesus was captured in the Garden of Gethsemane, and Peter draws a sword and he cuts the ear off of one of the guards sent to arrest Jesus, and Jesus heals him. And at that point, when I was a little kid, I used to lay my ear, this is even before I got stuck under the water, I would lay my ear on this verse in the Bible, on this page, and I would ask Jesus to heal me, and my ear would feel better. So I said, okay, let's pray. My mom and I held hands, and we said, Jesus, you say when two or more are gathered in your name, you'll be there. Come here now and heal Bob's hand. And I don't remember what else she was saying, because at that point I started to feel this tingle, like an electric tingle right in the center of this cut. And as she continued to pray, the tingle spread until it grew in intensity and went up to my elbow. It was almost like starting to feel like it was being electrocuted. Like, you know, they say when you connect a current and you start to get electrocuted, to get drawn into the electricity as it surges up through you. That's what I felt. And this thing started to go from the tip of my thumb across the top of my hand to my elbow, then from my elbow to my shoulder, and then from my shoulder right to my chest. And when it hit my chest, I felt it going down my other arm. And by the time it hit my elbow, I looked up at my mom, who stopped praying, and she was wide-eyed, and she was holding my hands, and she was going, I feel it too. At that point, when it was about at my elbow, I started to see almost this glow coming from underneath the bandages. By the time it hit my shoulder, it was like me and my mom were wrapped in this bubble of white. And it was just this amazing experience. I mean, we didn't take off my bandage to check it that moment, but we were just like in awe at this energetic feeling that passed between us. My mom ran to tell my dad. My dad thought we were full of crap, and he quizzed us both, and we both said the same thing over and over and over 3 times. So he looked at my mom, and they used to pray a lot, and he goes, how come all the cool stuff always happens to you? 3 days later, we went to the doctor, and the doctor took off the bandage to check it. And he looked at my thumb, and he goes, all right, where's the other boy? I'm a busy guy. I don't got a lot of time to play around. And she goes, what are you talking about? He goes, obviously this is a twin, and you guys think that you're playing a joke on me. Where's the boy with the nub? And my mom said, that I don't have twins. That's my only son. This is the boy. And he looked at my thumb, and he said, that's not right. All the skin had grown back. The nail still hadn't grown back in, but all the skin had grown back. The only spot on my thumb that had any type of a scab was where he cauterized me. Everything else was like brand new, fresh, soft, pink baby skin. It had none of the ridges of a fingerprint, but it was all fresh pink skin, all grown back. And he said, that's impossible. And my mom told him that we'd prayed. And he said, okay, I don't go around doing this more often. You two could be bad for business. And at that point, that's when my mom became this very devout person who used to go around and put her hands on people and pray for them because she was convinced she could heal people. I think that was the start of me realizing that ego was a very, very dangerous instrument. And definitely that culminated with my experience in the garage. I didn't want to pray for people. I always felt self-conscious about it because my parents would drag me over and say, oh, come here, to whoever was over their house for some prayer group. Look at his thumb. Can you guess which thumb got cut off? These big exaggerations. Well, anyway, years had gone by. And from my life at the point where I was in the garage and I wanted to become a priest and I was on the spirit-filled path, everything started to decline. I stopped listening to that little voice inside my head. I had a friend who told me, oh, that's it, that the devil warned you, if you become a priest, it's going to come get you. And I felt like I turned my back on God. I turned my back on what I was supposed to do. I really used to think that whatever it was underneath the water that day that came to me, that it made a mistake. God made a mistake. Why did you pick me? Someday soon, but not today. There's many things left for you to do. I'm not supposed to do anything. I'm a fearful little fool. I have nothing that I could offer to anybody. I'm too scared. And I felt like St. Peter, and I turned my back on God, and I denied him. At that point, my life started to get lower and lower and lower. Like most people who are in despair, I sought my good feelings anywhere they could be found. I drank too much. I had sex with all the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. It was never out of love. It was always, to get this feeling. I was like a junkie for endorphins. I was definitely an adrenaline junkie. I became a cop. I became a deep underwater tech diver. I used to push the limits for everything. The deeper, the more dangerous, the more I wanted to do it. The more crazy with spearfishing, the more I wanted to do it. There was a guy barricaded in a building. I'll go get him. I'm first. I taunted my mortality. I think I really wanted to recycle myself. I felt like I totally screwed up, that I didn't do what I was supposed to do, that I was supposed to start on this journey when I was so much younger, and because I didn't do it then, the rest of my life was meaningless. And I just wanted to recycle myself and start over. Maybe next time I'd get it right. About that time, my aunt passed away. She was a few years older than me. A few months older than me, I'm sorry. Her and I grew up more like a brother and sister combo when we got together. She was very close to my age. I jokingly used to call her Aunt Maria because she hated it because we were so close, and I was bigger than her. And I really couldn't understand why this happened. I had a business deal that fell through because of 9/11. I got caught up in all that despair that everybody was going through with 9/11. And I just thought everything in this realm sucked. I did not want to be here any longer. I was filled with a depression. My fiance at the time, who's now my wife, suggested that I get into meditation. And we had met this gentleman who was a phenomenal healer when my aunt was sick, and he actually extended her life and helped ease her passing. They gave her 3 weeks to live, and he had her live another 6 months, and she, got into breathing and meditation, and he actually took her, she said, to see who her new family was. She told me, I knew she was going to die. She knew she was going to die, and I think